welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we are going to be discussing the second episode of 90 Day Diaries from this week, or maybe next week by the time I get this out. So we're not going to have any hot goss in this episode, just because I haven't gone through any recent hot goss yet, so I have to go through what I've got, and then I will let you know what I've got. But, so yeah, no hot goss in this one, but just announcements. I won't run through the entire announcement, the second one again, but I'll just kind of make reference to it really quickly. But first, Patreon is up and running. If you're interested and you want to be a part of the fun over there, we have 3 tiers. The first tier, $3 off, gives you these out free, and you also can get AMAs. So that's their AMAs as every month. And then on the second tier is $5. You get a reality show from yesteryear that I'm covering, and currently right now that is Jersey Shore. So we're going through all 6 seasons, just the old seasons, not doing Family Vacation or anything like that. So that's there. I think currently we are on season, I think 2, maybe 3. I don't know. Um, but we're going strong with that. Um, and then what else? So by the way, that is every week. Those episodes come out. And then on the third and last tier, which is $7, $7 Canadian, by the way, you get a true crime documentary that we do every month. The 2 episodes usually of that every month, but this is the one documentary we do a month, 2 episodes. I split them in half. So yeah, we've done Into the Fire, I think was recently in April. We've done Ashley Madison. We've done um Man with a Thousand Kids. So those are the 3 that we've done so far. There are documentaries going right up into, I think, September right now, that's recorded and ready to go. So yeah. Yeah, so that's there too. But yeah, if you're interested, you can go to patreon.com/reality tea times 2, and the link's in the show notes, and you can join there. Second announcement, just very quick. I already referenced it in the last 90 Day Diary episode. So you can, if you want to listen to it in full there, you can. Just letting everyone know that episodes might be a little late, maybe a day or so late. Maybe some might be skipped or whatever that kind of happens. Just because I have started fertility treatments. So that's kind of going to be very consuming for me right now. So, um, again, if you want to kind of hear more in depth, which I believe I do a little bit more in depth, so not too much, you can go back and listen to the first, I think, like 4 or 5 minutes of the last episode that was released. Otherwise, that's it. Like I said, again, no hot goss. We're just jumping right in to the episode. So the second 90 Day Diary episode that we had this week, just to reference again, I saw that Sam and Chitra were on, I think, of this one or the last one. I'm not covering them. It's just kind of going through their story of their daughter's birth. They've had their child. They had the baby like over a year ago now, I feel. Maybe not quite that long. So I'm not going through that again. So it was fun to see them, but yeah, no, I won't be talking about them. Also because I missed it, so it's fine. Um, so the first person that I'm going to talk about here is Ella. Now, if anyone doesn't remember who Ella is, and I don't believe I covered this season, but it'll be a future one I'll cover. Um, Ella is the one who was with Johnny, who was from China. They had been talking for some time at that point, and it was the whole like it was during COVID. He was trying to get to the States. He never actually made it to the States because he couldn't get out of China due to the very, very strict rules that they had around COVID. Um, and yeah, he just kind of bullshitting her and all that and whatever. She has an Asian fetish. It is what it is. Um, I don't know if that's really she has an Asian fetish. She might. I don't really know. But she had they fell in love with their love of anime, which is whatever. I think it's anime is the right thing. Just I don't know if there's something else as anime. Um. Anyway, and again, I think a lot of us already know this as well. He did end up getting to the States. I think it was about a year, maybe to 2 years ago. I can't exactly remember when he finally made it up, but we got some details on that. So in a minute I'll get to that. But he did come up for a visit, and then all hell broke loose. So here's kind of where we kind of learn about that. So first of all, we do see her. I remember her living on her own, or she had a roommate or something. Now she moved into the home with her grandma and her mom. So now she's living on the farm full time. She's over doing a lot of the farm work and everything like that. She's actually lost 80 pounds. So congrats to her. She's done the damn thing. Um and I think she says she still wants to lose more, but um so yeah, that's kind of good for proud of her on that one. So she kind of talks about the whole situation with Johnny and the fact that when he came to visit, um, she says, which they kind of mentioned on their season as well, that he was supposed to come up. He had his visa. He was supposed to stay the entire time, which I think was 6 months. I think she said, or was it 90 days? It might have been 90 days. Maybe I'm incorrect. No, it wasn't 6 months. It was the 90 days, or 3 months or whatever. I think it was 6 months. I think I heard her correctly. It was 6 months. He was supposed to stay 6 months. He ended up not staying the 6 months. He ended up staying for 45 days. So not even 2 months. He stayed for 45 days. I guess he was homesick or something. I don't know. Says he's going to go home. He leaves. And then, which we did hear about this, and then she gets a message from a woman in Arizona telling her, "Oh, Johnny's now my boyfriend." Like, what? I have some thoughts. Johnny's now my boyfriend, so you can go like away. And yeah, he didn't go straight home. He came to see me. So apparently, she says that he stayed with this woman for 3 days before going back to China. And he claims that nothing happened. They didn't do anything. That's that's bullshit. He definitely did. Who goes to Arizona and spend time with a woman that you did not know he was friends with and didn't do anything with? That's bullshit. So yeah, she knows it doesn't make any sense, and that's good. She has level-headed with that. But when she confronted him on it, he was like, "Oh, I made a mistake. It's never gonna happen again. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah." Um, and I mean, she stayed longer, took, I guess, his word for it. I don't know. But here's my thing. Why are we fighting over Johnny? Like, listen, I'm I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he seems flaky as hell. Or maybe he's just flaky with Ella. That could be what's happening here. But I don't know. I don't get it. Anyways, she apparently never told her mom that this is what happened, because apparently mom actually really liked Johnny when he came. It was all fine and great and blah blah blah. So when she tells her mom, by the way, he actually spent 3 days with a woman in Arizona and he didn't tell me about it, blah, blah, blah. And G told me, and mom's like, so you're breaking up with him, correct? Like, we're doing that, right? Um, so she ends up deciding, I guess, it's a little too late, that she's going to break up with him. She's like, it's been 4 years. This relationship isn't going anywhere. You just figured this out 4 years later that it's not going anywhere? Ma'am, listen, ma'am, y- you knew it wasn't going anywhere from the time we first saw you guys. It wasn't going anywhere. Now, maybe you found excuses with COVID because obviously, like, it was very strict, but I like, it wasn't going anywhere then. I mean, first of all, A, maybe she just chose to stay because she had also cheated on him, which, I get that. But it's like, come on. This it clearly wasn't going anywhere. From the moment you know, realize that, like, this isn't gonna happen, or he's not coming, or the, I don't know, 10th billionth time this man is bullshitting you about, "Oh, I'm gonna get there. It costs money, a lot of money," which I get that. But, like, is he working? Because I know he was working and he quit his job or was going to quit his job, which was like, that's so stupid. He never should have quit his job unless he had intentions of actually moving permanently to the States with his son, by the way. Let's not forget, this man has a child. So it's just like, I don't know, like, you wasted 4 years already just because she says, like, I want to have kids, I want to be a mom, and I feel like, this relationship hasn't gone anywhere. I'm like, well, you've already wasted 4 years. Like, I can't remember how old she is, but I think she's around my age, 34, 35. And I've already wasted time with this person for whom you can't have a physical relationship with because he lives in China. But I also have this question that I actually asked while watching their storyline here. Why hasn't she ever gone to China? Like, or at least to go to visit initially or something, because I can't remember if this was ever discussed during their original season. But I mean, obviously with COVID though, that was the main thing. There's no way in hell she was going to be able to get to China during the thick of the pandemic. But the pandemic is over. You know, we're kind of out the other side of this now. A lot of restrictions have been either lifted or relaxed or whatever it is. Why hasn't she gone to China at all at this point? Like, even just to visit, not necessarily to live, but to visit. Why hasn't she done that? Knowing that, honestly, I mean, I'm not just kind of weigh the other over the, weigh whose life is more important over the others, but like, he had a serious job. Like, I can't remember what she did besides help on the farm, but he had a job that he was really risking quitting, right? Again, cannot remember like the rules around that. Like, I know there was like this big thing. If he quit his job, like, it would have been really, really difficult for him to get another job. Even if he would have been, I don't even know if he would have been able to get another job. Like, it was a really big risk for him to quit, which I think he did. I can't remember during the season. Um, but so yeah, he had that. He has a son that he's gonna be uprooting, and, his parents really help out with his son, and obviously he has a really close relationship with him, so it's he was really risking a lot, um, uprooting his life that he knows. Ella, I'm sorry, I'm gonna put it out here. I can't remember if she had a job. She now no longer lives like, in her own space. She now lives back with her family. Um, She doesn't have kids. Why couldn't she have said, "You know what? Let me come visit you." You're waiting constantly for him to come to the States for what? You guys are not engaged. Why can't you go? I'm just like, the money he's putting into coming there and staying there for however long, why can't you find the money or something or have him help you or whatever it is to go and visit him at least once? Like, I'm hearing a lot of, "You're not doing this, you're not doing that." What the hell is she doing? But anyways, I yeah, I had a lot of questions, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because they broke up, and I think we already knew this already anyways, um, that they had ended it, but yeah, hopefully that's that for them and we never have to see them again. Um, so that's Ella. Andre and Libby, so kind of their storyline here is he wants to move to Moldova. What? Like, it's funny because my mom was, like, watching this before, and she's like, "Oh, is this had to do with the whole situation with his green card?" I'm like, "No, they've fixed that whole thing. It's done. It's fine now." Um, why? I mean, yes, do I understand, like, he wants his kids to be part of the culture and know where their father comes from and everything like that. Totally get it. I understand it, and I'm with it. But this is the same thing we saw with, um Alexi and Lauren too. It's like, why would like okay, as much as her mother, I should say, was an absolute bitch about the whole situation, they weren't gonna permanently move. But my question with I don't know. I think again, I think from a lens of I would be uprooting my entire life. I have a job and this and that. Um, but they're supposed to be working too. Like, Andre apparently is supposed to have a job outside of all of this, working with Chuck. So it's like, why would you uproot that? And you have this house. I mean, yes, I guess you could put it up on like, I don't know, for rent or, you put it on an Airbnb or something. I don't know. But it's, I just don't understand uprooting your life. I know Kobe and Emily, same thing. He wanted to do the same thing. What is the fascination of wanting your children to live in the country you come from? Listen, you can visit the fucking country as much as you want so your children can understand where their other half comes from. And listen, I'm coming from a place of I'm potentially going to be having children with a man who's not from the country I'm from. And never once has he ever said to me, "Oh, I want to move to South Africa so my children know where their father comes from." Has he said he wants his children to know his language? Yes. I don't know how that's going to work when I speak English, but here we are. But that's something that I would never take from him. Yeah, go for it. Do what you gotta do. But if he were to say to me, "Oh, let's move to South Africa, let the children understand where I come from," it's an absolute hard no. Now, again, I come from a different space. He comes from a different space. We both have our jobs. We are established where we are. It's just, it would never work. But I'm just, why do you have to uproot your life? Um, and again, like these people all have homes that they finally gotten. Like, we saw the journey of the finances with Andre and Libby, why would you uproot yourself and not have your home anymore? Same thing with Kobe and Emily. They've been living in mom and dad's house forever. So, like, why would you know what I mean? It's just I don't understand the fascination of it. Um, However, we kinda know what's gonna come later with her sisters kinda being like, "What? The fuck? No, it's a no." Like, you don't get to listen, as soon as one of you decides you wanna have sex with Josh, you no longer have a mind that I'm gonna trust. So, um, They can do what they wanna do at the end of the day, but I don't particularly get it. You can visit. You can visit. The last time you went to Moldova was for the wedding, the baby was or the daughter, whatever her name is again, she was very young. She doesn't remember anything, obviously. Winston, that's such a strong name for a baby. He wasn't even born yet, but, just go back and visit. Just I don't get it. Anyways, I spent way too long talking about their storyline. Let's move on. Hi, everyone. I am coming in with a new song for you to listen to. So, this song is by Culture Noise Music, and the song is called Only Ashes. I did get the song from the PodSave Music Directory on the World Podcast Network. So, I'm going to play that song for you now. If you like the song, you can go down to the show notes where there will be a link to all of the ways that you can download and listen to the song, including the link from the PodSave Music Directory. So without further ado, here's the song now.
Baby, I don't ever wanna know how close you really are to letting me go. I would rather our love die in a house of lies, lies, lies. Light a match and watch the flames go higher and higher. Let it all burn down so there's no trace of my heartbreak. It was all fake. Let it all burn down. No more love left up in my head. Only ashes. Only I don't wanna see if we're close to the end. Think I'm gonna stay here and not play pretend. I would rather our love die in a house of lies, lies, lies. Light a match and watch the flames go higher and higher. Let it all burn down so there's no trace of my heartbreak. It was all fake. Let it all burn down. No more love left up in my head. Only ashes. Only
Then we have Rebecca and Zied. Did we know that house? Did I know that last time? Anyways, they, seem whatever. They seem fine. And she kind of starts telling us that he's been acting weird, kind of forcing them going to bed early or something. And when she's in bed, he'll kind of sneak out of the room and then go like sit and outside and be on the phone or something. And we see her kind of like trapping him. And that, first of all, I have a question. You're supposed to be going to bed, correct? Right? 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 Okay. Um, totally get that. Um, and you're gonna go like sneak out and like see what he's doing. Okay, great. Why is the lights on in your house still though? Like, and I feel like if I'm in there's a covert operation, if that's what I'm doing, wouldn't I leave the lights off? Now that's a problem for the self-shooting, but I just have questions. Anyway, that aside, she does go out like to kind of see what he's doing, and of course he's on the phone. Who the hell are you talking to? I don't even know what time of night this is. I have questions that I need answered. I need to understand what's happening here. And why do you have to go outside in order to do so? If like someone's calling you about work or something like that, or you have questions or whoever, if it's your family, whatever it is, you could just go out to the living room and talk to them where she can still go to bed or something. Why are you going outside? You know what I mean? So she's like, oh, I don't want him to see me. I don't want him to see me. So he has no clue like he's on her radar or anything like that. So he apparently has he's going to be going to the bar because then she asks him like, what are you doing this weekend? Which would be like, first of all, A, what are we doing this weekend? No, I'm not like that. But she asks him like what plans he has for the weekend, and he's going to be going to the bar with a friend of his. Now he mentions it's a guy that he's going to be going to the bar with a guy who is a guy friend. Okay, this is very layered for me, so let's just go through this as we go. Okay, so it's a guy. She doesn't believe him. She thinks something's going on. And let's not forget, she used to be a private investigator in her day when we first saw her. So she's like, I am channeling my old self. We're going to get this done. So he, the next day, is all dressed, ready to go, which, first of all, what the hell was he wearing? What was that? Oh, like a harness. Anyways, um, he's like, oh, where are you going? Like, he looks like he is dressed for an occasion. Like, he's dressed for a date. I feel like if my man is going to a bar, which he shouldn't be going to a bar, that's a whole other thing for another day. But if he is going to the bar to meet friends, I feel like he's just going to be fairly casual. Like, he's not going to dress up like that. Like, I don't know. Maybe he's very prideful of how he looks. I mean, my boyfriend too, but it's just like, look a little fancy, Zied. That's all I gotta say. Um, so she apparently has her daughter-in-law helping her with the mission of finding out where Zied is and who Zied is with. So she has his tracker on, or whatever, the location sharing on, which again, stay stupid. Have we not seen Love is Blind? Okay, let's not be Jeramied here, okay? So she does tell us while kind of going through this, like, listen, I've been cheated on before. This happened with my first husband, which I completely forgot she was married to a man from Morocco before. I completely forgot about that. But she's like, I've done this before. I was, cheated on by him. And when which first of all, she seemed really like, obviously she's upset about being cheated on by with the ex-husband. I totally understand that. Yet you live in the same building complex for which you lived in with your ex. Or didn't he live in the building too? I can't remember what it was. But I think it was that they lived in there together. I'm just saying. Anyway, so she is on the phone, seeing where he's going, and this woman's like, oh my God, oh my God. And her daughter-in-law is like, what? He's at the same bar. He's at the same bar as my ex. Maybe there's not a lot of bars in your area. Like, I feel like maybe it's very possible that he's frequented the same bar that your ex used to go to, or at least like the same places your ex has been, including the apartment building you lived in initially. Anyways, um, so yeah, she's like freaking out about that. So they go to the bar. She's like, I don't want him to see me. I don't want him to see me. Um, and then eventually, like, her daughter-in-law comes out the car I don't even know why. But then she sees him walking towards it looked like he was walking towards the road with a blonde woman, and she's freaking out. Okay. Freaking out. So, which obviously, like, if you see your man potentially cheating, yeah, you're gonna freak. But yeah, she's freaking out. And here's what I would have done. If I see that my man, which I mean, I guess it just depends. I've been in this situation before where you know the woman's gonna be able to see you or hear you or whatever, and you just wanna put the man on blast so they know. Everybody's aware kind of situation. Now, I kinda did similarly to what Rebecca did in the moment, um, but it very quickly coulda changed in any second. So, I wanna make that also very clear. But I feel like if I was in this situation, that is my husband, um yeah, I am going to come out that goddamn car, and I'm gonna be like, "What in the Lord's fuck is happening here?" That's what I would have done. She did the opposite of what I would have done. Um, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this right now, okay? Because what if what he's telling you, which we'll get to in a second, is not the truth? And this woman, the reaction of her is really gonna help that. Kinda solidify all of that, you know what I mean? I'm just putting it out there. So, instead of confronting him like I would have done, she ends up dipping out and she's like, "Can I stay at your guys' place? I'm not going home." So then as they're going to the house, he kind of says to her, "Oh, I'm leaving now." But she doesn't really answer. I guess he somehow finds out, I guess, because he's tracking her too, finds or she oh, no, she says it. She says, "I'm gonna be going to," um, her daughter-in-law's name. She says her name, I can't remember what her name is. And he's like, "Oh, is something wrong?" So he knows that she's there. She's not answering him. Her son is kind of like, "This is Zied, though." And I think, like, her daughter-in-law said the same thing, like, "This is Zied, are we sure?" And that's what I was saying too. I'm like, "Are we sure? Are we sure? Because this is Zied." So, anyway, he does end up at the house and is like, "Where's Rebecca? Like, what's going on?" Like, he's concerned, like, "Is everything okay?" Because he's thinking, like, something might be wrong. And, like, her son is kind of like, "Oh, no, like, you tell us, we saw you here and blah, blah, blah." And it's Rebecca says the same thing too when she finally agrees to talk to him, and she's like, "We saw you here." And his excuse is that I was walking with this girl while waiting for her husband to come out because he was in the bathroom. Okay. 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 Um, um, okay. 2 things, 3 things, maybe 4, I don't know. We're gonna ride the wave here. Number 1, why wouldn't then you have stayed, if not inside the bar, closer to the bar, so when the guy comes out, he knows where you are? He's just probably gonna come out the bar being like, "Where'd they go?" Like, why wouldn't you stay closer to the building? Okay. Number 2, uh, did you know that the wife was gonna come? Because then if you knew the wife was going to come, why wouldn't you then invite your wife to go to the bar as well? So there's that. Question number 3, if you're walking away from the bar, is it because you're walking towards a car? Did he pick you up with the wife? Because I thought he took an Uber. So what? Because then again, that goes back to my first point of the man's gonna walk out of the bar being like, "Where'd y'all go?" You know what I mean? Number 4, if I I don't know where I sit yet, I'll kinda get to that. If you are lying and you're actually on a date with this woman, her being married to a guy doesn't mean shit. We all know this. It can happen at all the time where you're having an affair with a married woman, number 1. Number 2, you could also be having an affair with a married woman for whom you are friends with her husband. Happens all the time. So that isn't helpful fully. You know what I mean? Which is why I go back to my original point that Rebecca should have gotten out of the goddamn car and confronted him right there and then. Cause a scene, girl. What is happening? So that's kind of where that kind of ends. We will see more of that at this next time we see them, but um I don't know where I stand because it's hard for me because I'm like, Ziad would never. Ziad would never. And my mom was like, well, I'm not surprised. I'm like, what do you mean? Ziad would never. Ziad loves her. May not understand any of this. I no accept this. What is happening? I just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. But on the other hand, could he potentially be getting frustrated with the fact that she is older and can't have children for him? Um, is he maybe unhappy in the marriage now? There's so many different things that could be going on in his head that we're just not aware of. So is it possible that he could be stepping out? I don't know. Um, anyways, that's what I get in Ziad for this point. I guess I'll see them later, to get more answers on that. The last person that I'm gonna talk about here is Tyray, which I'm not gonna be spending a lot of time talking about. He wants to get gastric sleeve surgery, which maybe a good idea if he's struggling with losing weight. Um, because he is well over 400 pounds or maybe he's just about 400 pounds, I can't remember, but, um, this man literally says, "Oh, I thought it was less," but uh, which I guess when you're in your body, you always think it could be less. So when it's more, it is like, oh shit. Like, so I get that. Um, so yeah, he was originally going to do the gastric sleeve surgery in Mexico, and his family is like, no, no. I think you should do it here. I think it should be reputable. And the reason he obviously wants to do it in Mexico is because it's cheaper in Mexico. And he's like, "Oh, they're reputable, and I did my research on it." His sister comes in with a 1-2 punch and is like, "I'm sorry, but I think you've hit an incorrect key because if you think I'm going to trust your reasoning when it comes to anything online, you're incorrect." Damn. So anyway, he then from that, I guess, decides he's gonna do it in California. So he had his appointment with, uh what they call him, bariatric surgeon, um, who kind of, talks to him about it. And obviously kind of this part got me. This part, I'm just like, gee. So it's like, my mom's like, maybe we need to get Dr. Now in here. I'm like, how about Dr. Proctor? How about Dr. Proctor? Because I like looking at him. Anyway, um, instead this guy here, he kind of says to him, you know, getting gastric sleeve surgery, cool, and everything, but it doesn't just start nor end with the gastric sleeve surgery. Usually, and we've seen a lot of these episodes of these different shows, um, usually they have you on some sort of liquid diet or something beforehand where you're kind of proving that you are capable of losing the weight, and they give you a goal weight that you got to get to before doing the surgery. We all know. Um, so that after the gastric sleeve surgery, you're still going to continue losing the weight. You get the sleeve done, but you still have to lose the weight and you have to change your eating habits. But I also think it's not also just like your body, your mind has to train yourself because the problem is, and I'm talking from experience here, that you tend to overeat, which can be the problem. Your stomach is going to be smaller during, you know, gastric sleeve surgery. But what if your mind is still being like, eat, 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 and you're going to overeat? So there's a lot of work that has to be done before, during, after the surgery. So you're losing the weight. This man over here, when he hears this, is kind of like, well, I thought it'd just be easy about doing the surgery. I didn't realize there's so much work involved. Sir, like he didn't say it like verbatim that way, but he's basically trying to think like this is a easy fix and that he won't have to actually do the work. It's like, no, you have to do the work. This isn't just go into surgery, get it done, and then your weight's gonna fall right off of you. You have to do the work. So the fact that he thinks like that just kind of shows me this isn't going to work, because when that's going to end up happening is you're going to get the gastric sleeve surgery done. You're going to go through the initial rapid weight loss, and then you're going to gain it all back, and the surgery is going to be for nothing, and you're going to have to go through the whole process again if you even can. So I'm just like, oh God, oh man. What I don't want to see though is weight loss surgery. We've had that with Angela. I don't need to see it again, you know? Anyway, I don't know if we're going to see more of Tyray. Who knows? Again, I hope that he isn't doing this because he thinks this is going to be better for him for relationships and women and everything like that. Because again, that's just not enough of a reason to do it. You should be doing it because you know you need to get healthy, not so you can be snatched. And yeah. Anyway, that's it for Tyray. That is it for this episode of 90 Day Diaries. I spoke for a really long time about this, with no hot goss or anything. That's interesting. But that is it for this episode. That's it for me. Um, so yeah, the next thing that I'll hopefully get to at some point is Last Resort. We'll get to it. Don't you worry. But yeah, that is it for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there, and you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube, and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.